This is a ball python. Part of the fun of keeping ball pythons and other snakes is not getting bit. And today I'm going to teach you why you never see me take bites and how you don't have to either. My name's Adam, this is Pikachu, you're watching Wickens Wicked Reptiles, stick around. In my opinion, one of the best species of snakes are ball pythons because they are known for their gentle disposition. But if you want something that isn't as gently dispositioned, or whatever the word I'm looking for here is, and you still don't want to get bit, there's a few ways to read behavior, which is what this comes down to. And I've got lots of questions. Adam, how come we never see you get bit by snakes? That's kind of like the theme of a lot of these other bigger channels. Well, it's great for views to get bit by snakes. And don't get me wrong, I like getting lots of views on the videos. I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and the thumbs up or whatever the button is down there to spread this through the algorithm, but the reason I make videos like this is to be a positive ambassador for reptiles, to show the world, to preach my message, which is that reptiles aren't scary. There's nothing to be scared of. Like, look how cute, it's like a little, it's like a loaf of bread, potato, I don't know what this is, but it's like, look how cute it is. So cute. There is nothing to be afraid of, and that is my message. That is what I'm trying to get out there. So I don't take bites because, well, first of all, I know how to avoid them for the most part, but second of all, it's not good for the hobby to show animals biting you all the time. It just makes people more fearful. Aren't we trying to make people less fearful? Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Not only that, but also it's easily avoided with most of the species that I keep. I am very cautious to the point where people make fun of me. So today I'm going to teach you how to be cautious but not afraid, and that's how you avoid getting bites. And yes, holding onto a snake and saying that you don't get bit is definitely like stupid. Knock on wood. What a beautiful bracelet. So handsome. In general, there are two different types of bites. The first type is a defensive strike. This is when the animal is afraid. It is trying to bite you. Hey, I am scary. I am going to hurt you. I might even kill you. Get away from me so that doesn't happen.
I am the danger.
That's what they're trying to say to you. The second type is a food bite. These ones suck way worse. This is when an animal thinks you're food, bites, constricts, if it's a constrictor as an example, and wants to kill you so it can eat you. Not you as a person, it just thinks whatever it bites, your hand, your leg, whatever, is a prey item. Regardless of which one it's going to be, you have to read the snake's behavior so you know which one it's going to be. And to make it abundantly clear, I'm not saying I'm an expert, this is just what I've learned through 10 plus years of experience. So here we go. First thing, use a hook. Now, people always make fun of me because I use a hook to get ball pythons out. Oh, bro, it's just a ball python. Okay, but ball pythons also have teeth. So I always make sure that my animal knows. I tap it, I poke it, I make sure it knows it's not getting fed, and then I take it out. Even if the snake, thanks for the tail in the face, bud. Even if the snake, like Pikachu, is on a hunger strike of several months, and I'm not afraid of it trying to chew on me or eat me, I don't want it to defensively bite me because it gets startled. Now, I'm not an expert like I mentioned, and there are some people who will preach there's certain modes, sleeping mode, defensive mode, food mode. Forget all of this, just to simplify it and make it easier, especially because I'm not an expert or try to pretend to be. I think that just look for certain things. Slow tongue flicks, like it's kind of looking around, trying to see what's going on, just being curious. Because snakes aren't aggressive. That's not why they're not trying to bite you because they're mean. They're not bullies on the playground. They're trying to defend themselves or eat. That's it. Their only other instinct is to mate, and they don't bite for that, so don't worry about that. They're not gonna mate with you. That'd be so weird. And to simplify it even more than that, tongue flicks and all this stuff, just the feel. You're gonna get a feel, and it takes a little bit of experience. So when you're new, if you wanna wear gloves because you're extra scared, or if you just wanna use a hook all the time, I always recommend a hook. I'm 10 years in and I still do, or more. So I think that it's okay to use precautions like that. But you'll get a feel. You'll start to know your individual snakes or how snakes as a species act, because there is similarities between Pikachu and Medusa and my banana ball pythons, which one of them's name is Hammock. And anyway, I need two names because I'm keeping the other ones. So I think that you'll learn these type of movements and the behaviors of these animals. Here's a great example of a food bite that is so obvious to anyone who's ever owned a snake. This video, which we've seen, I don't even need to look at it, I'm looking at a camera and I can break it down from memory. She takes off the lid, the snake is already interested, you can see in the back corner of the room that there's rats. Never handle snakes when there are rats in the room. ever. Bad idea. The snake pops out. You can see immediately this thing thinks it's getting fed. It wants to get fed. And what does this lady do? She doesn't look around for a hook or, try to like calm it down, poke it with a hook from the back, make sure, take it out with the hook, try to get it, acclimated to the, no, none of that. She offers her hand up like, here, sir, may I have some more? Like it wants to get bit. She wants to get bit. That's what it seemed like.
Oh, okay, well. Need a hand?
Obviously, that's not the case. She was very shocked when it happened, but none of us were who have been keeping snakes. We knew it was going to happen from the start. So no shame to this lady. Maybe she was new. Maybe she was just kind of nervous because there was a camera in the room. It's not normal to talk to a camera. People do get nervous. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but this is the best example of how to avoid a food bite. Everything she did, don't do. Also, don't keep reticulated pythons in way too small of an enclosure made of glass like that. It's like, come on, lady. So watch for things. Huffing and puffing is one thing for sure. Like if you have a bull snake, you're probably used to this, but even ball pythons and even Burmese pythons, there's a whole bunch of snakes that will huff and puff and try to blow your house down. And what they're doing is they're saying, hey buddy, I'm about to strike at you. And then you're gonna notice certain snakes that will have like this S-curve look to them. There's certain other type, like sandboas don't do this. They strike to the side. Hognose snakes don't do this. There are certain ones that you'll have to worry about that are different, but especially with pythons and colubrids, most colubrids, they're going to do that S-curve first, and that's how you know. And a lot of the times they'll stand up and make it pretty aggressive and make noises, so you'll know. So that's why I always recommend use a hook, because if they're gonna huff and puff and try to fake you out before they actually try to bite you, they're gonna do something like that first. If you just reach in and you startle them, they don't have time, you don't know that they're in a defensive mood or mode, if that's a real thing, and you're just gonna get tagged. So I've got a few more tips for you, and I hope you've learned something new, but while we're on the subject, today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. If you are looking for a platform that is dedicated to learning, no ads, no fluff, no mumbo jumbo, just learning a new skill or brushing up on a skill and learning something new about what you're already interested in, Skillshare is for you. Not only is Skillshare ad-free, but they also add new classes all the time. This weekend I'm starting a class myself. YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD by Marquez Brownlee, one of my favorite creators, one of my favorite channels. I am so excited to start. I am a professional content creator and I know I can get better. I'm gonna continue getting better, and the way that I'm gonna brush up on my skills is with Skillshare. And the best part is, whether you're someone like me who's been doing this for several years, or you're someone who's starting brand new, day one with a new skill, Skillshare has a class for you. Whether it's film and video, photography, music production, marketing, web development, whatever it is that you're interested in, there is going to be a class that's going to help you learn a new skill or something new about the skill you've already created for yourself. And right now, because you are a subscriber of Wickens Wicked Reptiles, you can get a month free. All you have to do is be one of the first 1,000 subscribers of this channel to hit the link below, and you can start for free. And after that, it is super affordable to continue on, and I know you're gonna love it. This is something I personally stand behind, and I can't wait to start taking even more classes than the one I've already started. I should mention, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, anything with a mouth and teeth can bite you. Well, I mean, I said at the beginning all snakes have teeth, but egg-eating snakes actually don't. But they'll still bluff strike at you. Regardless, anything can bite you. So I'm making this video not with a promise you'll never get bit, but just reduce the bites, and I can count on one hand how many times a snake has ever bitten me, and I have dozens of them. A big thing, I think, is to be cautious but not afraid. I don't know that snakes read fear in the same way that, say, a dog would. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in my experience, just go in there very confidently. You're not kind of screwing around, and you go in and you grab the snake. A lot of the time, you're good. It's not going to want to. It realizes, okay, it's got me. It's not hurting me. It's not trying to eat me. Whatever this thing is A-okay. Another few tips to avoid, say, food bites, for example, is I always use hand sanitizer to wash my hands. Now, I know that because of what's going on in the world, most of us have a stockpile of hand sanitizer, or it's available most places. I just use it because an animal isn't going to want to bite something that smells like poison, which is what alcohol is.
Julian!
Alcohol is poison, so they're not going to want to bite it. In fact, if an animal bites you, a snake bites you and holds on, a lot of people will rub something like Listerine or something that has an alcohol in it on like their mouth to get them to let go. So if you smell like alcohol in the beginning, you're less likely to get bit. Another thing, like much more obvious than this, is don't smell like rats. So when I clean snakes, even if it would be more convenient for me to start thawing out the rats and then clean snakes, and that way when I'm done, the rats are ready, I never do this. You're getting pretty tight. Come on there, buddy. Because I know that if I screw up or a waft comes in and I'm cleaning something with an aggressive feeding response, they're gonna think that, like for example, my boa Franny or my king snake Big Lou, if I walk in the room and there's rats and I bring in the rats and I'm not ready to feed yet, I just put them on the table, my little cart there, they're striking the glass. As soon as they see me, wham, bam, bam, they're just striking at the glass because they think everything that moves is food because they can smell it in the air. So never be thawing out rats, never smell like rats, and that's a great way to not get bitten. One of the added benefits of these Capisco chairs is your snake can actually use it as like a perch, which is pretty dope. Another really big thing that is not really talked about enough, and I think it's obvious and it should be, is just socialization. Socialize your animal. There are animals that when you get them, they're going to be bitey boys. There's very good chance that if you get a green tree python or a blood python or something like that, it's gonna be a bitey boy at the beginning. But with most species, if you work with them, you can tame them down and get them used to you so they're no longer afraid. Now this is a perfect example with not a food bite, but a defensive bite. Animals that are defensive by nature or as babies, something like a bull snake. Everybody knows that bull snakes make great pets. Well, if you watch the top 5s on this channel, you do. But a bull snake comes out of the egg as a pistol. It is just going like crazy trying to bite you. So you have to put in a little bit of work to socialize them. And I think that that's something that a lot of people neglect to do, is put in the work and take your snake out for a few minutes a day, or take it out for a half an hour, or take a Pikachu out, for example, which is the best example, is I just put him around my neck and I work, and that's it. Because I'm warm, he wants to be on me. The room cools down, especially when there's not 400 lights around as I'm sweating over here. And then that's it. I don't even really have to pay attention to him, and we're kind of bonding. This is what I did with my Dumerol's boas when I got them. This is what I did with my spotted python. Now, these aren't necessarily bitey animals, but this works with bitey animals too. I remember going to an expo and someone had a green tree python they were handling like it was a ball python, and I couldn't even believe it. It was just because he put in the work and he socialized it. There's guys like Kevin McCurley's in the world that teach us if we put in the work and socialize things, we can socialize dang near anything. 2 last things. First of all, common sense. Use common sense. Most of us can tell when an animal is angry and about to bite us. So even if you don't use these tips that I gave you, which are very vague, by the way, probably, about how to read an animal and what kind of mood it's in or what kind of mode it's in, well, just use common sense. If you're out in the bush and you see an animal out in the bush, am I Australian? If you're out in the woods and you see a snake and it's hissing and huffing and puffing, you don't pick it up. Or maybe you do, if you're someone who doesn't mind getting bit. But if you don't want to get bit, you're not going to pick it up. Same thing if you see a dog that's snarling at you, you don't go near it. You don't go try to pet it. Use a little bit of common sense. And lastly, and this is something that you can't buy, you can't fake, you have to have, experience. Now, this is the least important thing, in my opinion, for animals like ball pythons and spotted pythons and things like that. For other animals, this definitely helps, right? This is why guys like a Kevin McCurley, for example, who's been doing it for 100 years, is so good at what he does. He's been doing it for 100 years. And it'll come to you. I'm someone who's been keeping reptiles for, I don't know, I think I've been keeping snakes for about 10 years. And I know there's some guy that's gonna comment on this, well, I've been keeping snakes for 10 years and 34 days. And okay, slow down there, Chomo.
What's up there, Chomo? Listen here.
I get it. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that 10 years is the magic number or 15 years. If you got a couple of years, a few years with the same snake and different snakes, different species, you're gonna learn a thing or two that no matter how many videos you watch, no matter how many care sheets you read, you'll never know unless you experience it. Period. So anyway, Pikachu's decided he's a tree python now, and he's just kind of perched on my chair. What do you think? Are there other things that you think that could have been added to this video? If you have other tips, please leave it in the comments below. Let's help other people know things that I didn't let them know in this video. I want everyone to know that snakes are not scary, and the best way to do that is to make sure that people aren't getting bit unless they want to risk getting bit. If you've got an idea for next week's video, drop it down there. That's where I got the idea for this. Please hit the like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. All of these things cost you nothing and help me and Pikachu so much. And a special thank you, as always, to the Patreon supporters. You guys are freaking amazing. Without you guys, this would be a whole different ball game. You guys get to see videos early. You know about the very exciting news for Pikachu. Congratulations, Pikachu. You know about all sorts of things. You get discounts on the merch and videos early. And as little as $1 a month, you can be a Patreon supporter too. All right, I'm gonna go towel off. It is super hot in here and I'm super sweaty. And because I do videos twice a week, that means that I'll see you on what day? Monday?